Hello and welcome. My name is Israel, and in this video, we're going to show you how to import sales orders into Fishbowl using Cloud Pages. Let's get started. A little bit of an overview. I'm going to show you some of the magic that's necessary to do this. We're going to show you some code, and then we're going to look at the results. So this should be a pretty short video, but we've got some education to give you first, and then we'll get straight into code, and then you'll see how easy it is. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to try to do. So Fishbowl has a import facility. You've seen it probably if you implemented Fishbowl for the first time, or you're learning to implement Fishbowl for the first time. If you go to File Import, you'll see this import wizard, and in here you've got all these different things you want to import, right? And earlier, in order to do what we're going to do next, is I've exported a sales order out of Fishbowl. So I've gone through this process of going to sales order, picking my sales order file. Oops, sorry, that's import. I picked the wrong ones. File, export. Here we go. Sales order. And when I've gone through the process of specifying my file, picking the sales order number I want to export, I'll pick one, and then hitting the finish button. Right. I've already done that. Here's what that looks like. The sales order looks like this, right? Very basic, very simple. It's just a CSV. There's some complexity to it. There's multiple lines with it. There's a header line. There's an item line. We won't go into the details of that too much today. We're just going to explain that in order for us to do the next thing is we need to change the sales order number and change the status, because at one point this had a status of I think 80 or 90, and that was expired. And if I import a new sales order, I need to make sure that the sales order number is either not present, so I can give you a new one, or change it slightly so that it doesn't conflict with the existing one, right? And the idea is that we're essentially going to make a copy of this 1060 sales order into Fishbowl, but we're going to call it 1060.1, right? But you can also imagine projects where you take a CSV from a trading partner, you need to read it, look up some things, convert it, get into your business workflow, business format, and then import into Fishbowl and then move on, right? So we're going to try to do something very basic where we just import a known good sales order CSV and push that into Fishbowl so we can see it happen, right? Let's talk about some of the technology you'll need to know to do that, and some of the places where you can kind of get some more information. In Cloud Pages, we're going to have a method called the run import CSV. That import CSV takes two parameters. One is import type, and the second is the string of the sales order. In this case, we're showing you the import custom field data. Obviously, we're not importing custom fields. We'll want to do something different. And where you find that is available in this legacy CSV import reference. I've got that open here. All we have got to do is find the import name and say, okay, we've got an import sales order. That's the string that we'd provide to the method. And then we also have some import instructions. If you go to the Fishbowl import and exports wiki page, I've got here set up. Yep. If you scroll down to the bottom here, it explains a lot of how to do things in Excel. Here's the list of imports and exports. You'll go down the list here and find, let's say, sales order, for example, and those import and export instructions. Those import instructions are pretty detailed. Some of the things I explained to you, like if you're going to have a sales order number, you make sure that it's unique. Leave blank if you want the auto numbering, so on and so forth. In this case, there's not, we've already done the work of getting this set up because it's an export from Fishbowl, and this will import just fine into Fishbowl. But overall, this is all the understanding you need to know in order if you want to create a CSV and import it to Fishbowl. This is their structure and file format. Cool. So let's get ready into making this a thing in the Cloud Pages. So I've already had Cloud Pages set up. So I've got a blank page here, my console, and Visual Studio Code. And it does nothing, right? We're not going to have to do anything. But what we are going to do is do some JavaScript right when the page loads, when the document is ready, and we're going to grab a CSV string. We're going to tell it we're going to use the run import CSV method, and then we're going to log a result. and then you'll see that turn into a sales order. Let's get started. So we'll grab a script tag here. We'll start with document, ready, function, e, and then close that. And then we'll do var CSV. Oops, let's go get that CSV in here. I'll grab my little block of code, drop that here, clean that up, tab it over. Okay, that feels good. Let's go use it. So we'll say document, get element by ID. Oops. Call it CSV. Enter text. And we're going to trim that because I just want to be clean. Let's do a console log CSV so we can see it in memory. Cool. That works. That's happy. No dramas there. We're good to go. Next is getting prepared for the run import CSV. So we could do something like this: var result, FB client, run import CSV. And then the first string we provide is that import sales order. And if we want to remember where I got that from, I got that from this page. That's the magic string. And we're going to use it. So we're going to call import sales order. And we're going to provide the CSV. And I want to log the result to console. And we'll be good to go. So let's give that a shot. Cool. What we got is a JSON string. We can obviously parse that into a JSON object. But in this case, it's pretty simple. We've got a status code of 1,000. Status code of 1,000 means that it went over just fine. What's happening in the background is we created a method because we import CSV all the time as part of our normal projects. So we wanted to do give a method to our developers that made it easier so that we didn't have to spend a lot of time building up a lot of other logic. And that other logic is essentially running the legacy, what I call legacy, JSON API or JSON XML API. And that requires a bit more ceremony, a bit more setup. And this method removes all that. Just say, hey, I'm just going to condense what we're trying to do to the two things that we really need in order to execute this. It handles all the magic behind the scenes for you and returns a result, which is in this case a JSON string of Fishbowl's own response to the command that we send. Right? In this case, it sent over just fine. There's no errors. We haven't done anything wrong. Everything was copacetic. Everything worked. So let's go pop back into Fishbowl, and let's take a look. And there we are. That's it. Like that's literally it. Like in what 4 or 5 lines of code, we were able to import a CSV. Now, obviously, we didn't create a CSV from scratch. There's other ways you can do that. There's some libraries out there that you can do pop-up parse, where you can take a JSON object and convert that into a CSV. That's very popular. We can see that being very, very useful, very helpful for customers. And we've used that project before. Or you can just kind of roll your own, generate the CSV by manually or use any other JavaScript library to do so. That part is pretty well known on how to handle that. And we've done other things where we, open an Excel file, parse, look for cells, get data, look things up in Fishbowl, get the customer object, get the product, get the kit, and manipulate a sales order to create a CSV and import it and get it on the screen. And those are the sort of projects that are amazing. We love to do those. But you can also do those yourself using the facilities that we have available. Use our tools for your projects. And we'd be happy to talk to you about some applicability and maybe some questions that you might have about the platform. And yeah, in less than 10 minutes, we've shown you how to do this importing sales order into Fishbowl. Next videos, we'll talk about the JSON API and some things like, picking a pick, receiving a receipt, shipping, shipment, that sort of thing that require API calls. They're not CSV imports. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And we'll show you how to do that kind of more cookbook style thing in the next video. Thanks again. Take care. Talk to you all soon. Bye.